presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are St. Louis.
It is a cold, chilly afternoon from the Steel City of Pittsburgh, but baseball is back. Andrew McCutcheon, an MVP candidate, is in the lineup for Clint Hurdle's club, and he'll bat second. The Cards, the Pirates, the National League Central Showdown on opening day. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is next.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball, and it's opening day 2016 around Major League Baseball. This afternoon from cold, chilly Pittsburgh, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. And welcome to Cardinals baseball. That's the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is here, and so is Adam Wainwright. The 34-year-old will get the opening day assignment for Mike Matheny's club here this afternoon.
Fifth time that Adam has gotten that opening day assignment. The team has a lot of confidence behind him and expect the Cardinals to be led by their pitching staff once again.
So two aces squaring off here today. Adam Wainwright for the St. Louis Cardinals. On the other side, the tough left-hander, Francisco Liriano for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Cards, Pirates, first pitch of 2016 comes your way next.
It's another to stay good. Since 2011, 24 of the 30 teams have been to the playoffs. But only one of those teams made the playoffs every year. This is the Cardinals. A team built to win. A team that expects to win. A perfect blend of impressive young talent and accomplished veterans. But a team that for the first time in a long time isn't the favorite. They don't have the league's MVP. They don't have the superheroes of Citi Field. They weren't picked to win the World Series. And they could not care less. You want to doubt the Cardinal way? Go ahead. The Cardinals don't mind. But if these Redbirds roll to their 6th straight playoff appearance, don't be surprised.
St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise 1-2 right now. By Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. PNC Park in Pittsburgh. It's the Cards and Pirates, the first game on the schedule for any team 2016 in Major League Baseball. And it is cold, it is chilly, as we mentioned throughout the pregame show and during our open. Dan, Al, and Jim with you. It's 37 degrees. This morning, the wind chill was at 14 degrees around 7 o'clock this morning, but the sun is shining right now. And there are snow showers in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow, which is an off day for the clubs. It'll be cold on Tuesday and Wednesday, but so what? Baseball is back.
Talked to Clint Hurdle, the manager of the Pirates, before the game, and he said he woke up this morning to 3 inches of snow at his home. So right now, I think the conditions are pretty good for playing baseball, and boy, that open was special. If you didn't get excited about that, the voice talking about the upcoming season, well, something wrong with it.
The Pirates were 98-64 a year ago, second best record in baseball to the team that had 100 wins, the St. Louis Cardinals. Expectations for this season, it was interesting in that little piece how the Cardinals may be the underdog despite the fact that they had 100 wins a year ago.
Well, the Cardinals don't mind that at all. It's really nice to kind of have somebody else that is in the sights of everybody's aim. And I think the Cardinals are very content to be picked second, third, whatever they want to call them. But we know the Cardinals are going to have an outstanding year because of their great pitching.
Since 2000, the Cardinals have been a regular, it seems like, in postseason play. The Cardinals, the Yankees, then you have the Red Sox, the Giants. It's an even year, so they're supposed to win this season. Detroit and the Angels. And those 6 teams have played the most postseason games since 2000. For the Cardinals, it was their 5th consecutive appearance in the playoffs and the 6th time in the last 7 years that they made it to the postseason, as they limped into postseason because of all the injuries, and injuries are a storyline again at the beginning of this season.
Boy, they sure are. We went into spring training wondering about Johnny Peralta. We've lost him very quickly. Then you sign Tejada to be the shortstop. He goes down. Now Jerko, who was an acquisition over the wintertime to be, you know, a super utility guy, will be our starting shortstop for a while. And then Pena, who was supposed to back up Molina, he has knee surgery. So Cardinals, it's a next man up, and they've been tested very early.
Central dominance for St. Louis. Cardinals have averaged 91 wins over the past 8 years and have really taken hold of the National League Central Division. The talk of the offseason, the Chicago Cubs, and to an extent, an afterthought, the 2 teams that have been there 1 and 2 the last couple of years, the Cardinals and the Pirates.
Well, right. The Pirates, 3 times in a row they've gone to postseason. Remember, that's after 20 years of losing seasons here in Pittsburgh. But the Cardinals, you know, a lot of clubs are counting on them to be a contender and go into the postseason again, and let's hope so.
We will step aside. When we come back, it's our first pitch of 2016. The Cards and Pirates coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. A number of Cardinal fans on those flights, and they are represented in the red here at the ballpark. And during the break, we had a camera inside both dugouts, and you can see the players getting a little antsy. They are well behind schedule of what was to be our first pitch, which was supposed to be 5 minutes ago. In particular, their starter, Francisco Liriano. There he is, number 47, just waiting. The 32-year-old from the Dominican Republic. He's coming off a career-high 31 starts last year. Led the Pirates in strikeouts with 205. And we know he can be very, very tough on those left-handed batters.
Well, he sure can. He's a real force to be reckoned with. Remember a couple years ago, his first year with the Pirates and in the National League, he just dominated against St. Louis. He still has done a pretty good job. He has a career mark of 5-2, 2.58 ERA in 12 career starts against St. Louis, but just 1-1 in 4 starts a year ago. And he is chomping at the bit.
Let's take a look at Mike Matheny's lineup. Despite the injury, still a lot of big names in there. Matt Carpenter will play third base and lead it off, followed by Tommy Pham with the lefty on the mound. Tommy gets a start in left field. Matt Holliday, first baseman, batting third. Randall Grichuk, big things expected of him. He's in center. He'll bat cleanup. Stephen Piscotty had that scary incident in left field at this ballpark at the tail end of last year. He's in right today. Then Yadier Molina, 12th consecutive opening day start. Colton Wong, your second baseman. Jed Jerko, he'll get the start at short. And the pitcher, Adam Wainwright, batting ninth. So Francisco Liriano, who twice has been a comeback player of the year, it's the opening day assignment for the Pirates. No Garrett Cole in this series, dealing with a sore rib injury, so they're going to push him back. And Liriano gets the call today. He was 12-7 a year ago.
Liriano could be very tough because he gets batters to chase pitches out of the strike zone. And if you make him throw strikes, you got a good chance that you can beat him. But if you swing at either his slider or the changeup, most time it'll be out of the strike zone. If you chase those pitches, you can have a tough time scoring.
Once again, our thanks to Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, and sponsoring our defense all season long. Very athletic and speedy outfield. Starling Marte in left. He had 16 outfield assists a season ago. Andrew McCutchen in center. Gregory Polanco had 13 outfield assists. He's in right. David Freese, our old buddy, at third. Jordy Mercer, very steady at short. Josh Harrison at second. John Jaso, the former Ray, is at first. Francisco Cervelli behind the plate as we turn to our Toyota keys to the game with Al.
Well, we really think Adam Wainwright needs to be the ace. He is the ace of this club. He's got to take charge and pitch like an ace right here today. And also, you want to get a lead and score early and often, because the Pirates, their bullpen, Watson and Melanson, they are 79-1 with a lead after the 7th inning.
A shift on here for Matt Carpenter. No surprise to see the Pirates do that. And the first pitch of the season is taken for a ball. That baseball is thrown out, and we're underway with Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. Carpenter had a tough spring, which he hit only 167, but knocked out 28 home runs a year ago. It's sharply to first, backhanded by Jaso. Liriano to the bag for the out. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for the left-hander, Francisco Liriano.
You can see fastballs 46% of the time. He'll throw that slider and that changeup. Those are the key pitches for him. And it could be very tough with that slider and the changeup. And the changeup really tough on the right-handed batters. The slider tough on lefties.
Tommy Pham, the co-leader in home runs this spring with 3. Slow roller hit towards third. Freese, bare hands, makes the play. What a play by David Freese, the former Cardinal.
They have been very pleased with David Freese coming over. Remember, Gunn is still nursing that bad knee. He had reconstructive knee surgery after being taken out last season. So David comes in here. Only chance he has is a barehanded and a very strong throw over to first base. But they feel that David Freese was really a difference maker. They don't have a lot of depth, particularly at third base, and so David Freese was a great signing for the Pirates.
Wearing that familiar number 23 that he wore in St. Louis. Went to the Angels, wore number 6 to honor Stan the Man. And here is Holiday at 278 this spring. He has 19 career home runs against the Pirates, with 10 of the 19 here at PNC Park.
And I think still people are a little unsure of him playing first base, but I haven't asked you, but I think he's looked good over there, and I don't expect any problems.
I saw one ball that he had issues with in spring training, and that was it. And in terms of picking those low throws from infielders, he was tremendous. And today will be the first time that he'll play a position other than left field in the big leagues or DH. Missed 71 games last year with the right quad injury. Tried to come back late in the season. Was tough for him to get that base, and you'll notice that Holiday has dropped some weight, redistributed some of that body, and wanted to take the weight and the pressure off the legs and extend his career. The 3-1 pitch. Now 3-2.
You never worried about Matt Holiday and his condition, but I think with, as you said, redistributing some of that weight, I think he looks in the best shape we've seen him in his career.
Looks great.
He really does. And over at first, remember, that was his idea, to work with Jose Oquendo in the offseason, and it's paid off.
A 3-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Holiday. Liriano sets the Cardinals down in order in the top of the first. The Pirates coming up when we come back against Adam Wainwright. Followed by Andrew McCutchen and David Freese, Starling Marte, Francisco Cervelli, Gregory Polanco, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer, and the pitcher Francisco Liriano. The starting 9, the lineup for the Pirates against Cardinals ace Adam Wainwright.
Well, Adam's going to go out there. He made 4 starts in spring training. Did throw a lot of innings, but that was by design to save those innings for October.
And the first pitch is taken for a strike. Jaso was Tampa Bay's DH and leadoff hitter a year ago. And remember, the Pirates no longer have Pedro Alvarez, so he's gone, and Jaso playing first base. A couple of hops hit to second base. And taken there by Colt Wong. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, with Pham, Grichuk, and Piscotty in the outfield. Carpenter, Jerko, Wong, and Holiday along the infield. And behind the plate, 12th consecutive opening day start for Yadier Molina. That's presented by Dobbs.
Well, Yadi, 12 years back there. He and Adam Wainwright at what, 137 times they've been matched up.
1 out, nobody on. Here's Andrew McCutchen. He got off to a very slow start a year ago, battling injuries, hit 194 in April. And you wonder if he had just a typical McCutchen type April, if they would have been the ones that won the Central, because the Pirates from early May until the end of the year had the best record in the major leagues, and that coincided with McCutchen getting healthy and getting his base back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cardinals shift on McCutchen, all kinds of room to the right side.
Well, McCutchen is healthy this year, and when he's healthy, you can expect him to be an MVP caliber player. Last 5 years, he's won once and finished in the top 5 of MVP balloting.
The 5-time All-Star for Clint Hurdle's club.
Hit a lot of home runs in spring training. Matter of fact, he hit 5 in 7 games.
6 total. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wainwright sets up on the first base side of the rubber. Now time is called. Molina sets up inside, and a cutter just caught McCutchen. Apparently that barely got him, and the Pirates have their first base runner of the day. Missouri Lottery Fox tracks as we take a closer look.
Well, he's trying to go in on him, and boy, if that hit him, it just nicked his jersey. That still is going to be maybe a good and effective pitch. To bust these guys inside, now bringing up David Freese.
Freese had to wait a while to be signed.
So Mike Matheny's questioning maybe that really was he hit by a pitch.
Or did he make the intent of getting out of the way of the pitch too?
That's a good point. Like he might have even kind of dipped the shoulder a bit in to make contact.
They're going to review this, I believe. The crew chief is Jerry Lane. He's the home plate umpire. Hunter Wendelstadt first base, Trip Gibson at second, Clint Fagan is at third. By the way, one of the new rules in Major League Baseball is that with a pitching change, and it's an emphasis of MLB trying to again speed up games, and they did have a speed up of about 8 or 9 minutes off the clock from the previous year last season. But what they have is once the manager goes to the top step, leaves the dugout to go visit on the mound, he's got 30 seconds. They don't want to have those prolonged visits on the mound, and it's also a little bit about gamesmanship too, and allowing your relievers to get loose.
Well, let me think about Lee Smith. That wouldn't work with him, would it?
No, that long stroll into the game from the bullpen.
And we'll see how that plays out during major league games. Where you have most of the bullpens are out in the outfield. Not like in spring training where most of them are on the sidelines. The Pirates played an exhibition game yesterday in Indianapolis against the Reds, and they had 50-mile-an-hour winds to deal with. And he said he is awarded first base.
So the call stands after the challenge by St. Louis. Isn't it odd that the Angels are playing the Cubs in what is labeled a spring training game today, and yet there are 3 official Major League games happening this afternoon and tonight? 1 out, 1 on. Here's David Freese back in the National League.
David had a nice spring. He's engaged now to a beautiful young lady from St. Louis, and very, very happy.
Last year at .257 for Los Angeles with 14 home runs. He drove in 56.
Looks like he's in good shape.
He actually worked out down at the Cardinals spring training facility in Jupiter with Matt Holliday and Matt Carpenter during the offseason. Holliday telling me that Freese is in better shape this year than he's been in a long time.
That's what I thought. You know, when I saw him over the winter, I thought he looked in good shape, and you know, he didn't sign with the Pirates until the 11th of March.
He's looking for a team, and as you mentioned earlier, Jung Ho Kang will be playing in games within probably 3 to 4 weeks coming back, and so they're trying to figure out a role for Freese. He fills in at third. Could be a platoon at first as he pops that foul and out of play. Jaso hits from the left side. Freese could hit from the other side of the plate when a lefty is on the mound.
And that's one of the things the Pirates, they talk about, that they don't have a lot of depth. You know, a lot of their position players, and then you can even think about them, maybe their fourth and fifth starters are a little questionable.
2-2 the count. McCutchen, the runner at first base, doesn't run nearly as much as he used to. Holliday picks that out of the dirt.
And we got the combination of Wainwright, who pays attention. We'll keep him close over there, and Yadier Molina's throwing arm.
McCutchen 11 stolen bases last year. Well, it's interesting that you have David Freese not signed until the middle of March and already supplanted in the middle of their lineup for opening day, batting third. They dropped down McCutchen to 2. So they've got some changes with their lineup.
The reason they put McCutchen 2, because their analytics department came up with a thought that if you have a key hitter in the second hole, he'll get 30 more attempts to do damage.
McCutchen is leaning, and here's a 3-2. He's off and running, and the pitch is hit up the middle, base hit into center field. David Freese, his first hit as a Pirate. McCutchen to third, and the Pirates have something going here in the bottom of the first.
Well, that ball right back up the middle, goes on through, but Adam got the ground ball he's looking for. Now he needs another one to get the double play and get out of the inning. I think that's something that's going to be interesting to see until you get Tejada or Peralta back, which is going to be a while, is the ground balls going through on the left side. But here they're running on the pitch. Wong tried to get it up the middle, but it was on the shortstop side, and it was easy for McCutchen to go to third.
Marte drove in 81 a year ago. It would have to be a very hard hit ball to turn 2. Could also get the strikeout, though, with Starling Marte. He will chase a lot of pitches out of the zone. As a matter of fact, he swung at over 40% of the pitches that he saw out of the zone, which is in the top 5 of Major League Baseball. Here's a 1-0. Line to short. Catch is made by Jerko. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for Adam Wainwright here on this opening day.
Doesn't throw as hard as he once did, so fastball's just 44%. Got the sinking fastball, the curveball, and the change. And of course, part of that fastball is the cutter. So he's got a lot of different weapons. He's got a lot of experience, and Adam knows how to get out of these type of jams. Getting that line drive will help. And Cervelli, who had a very good first season with the Pirates, matter of fact, he was able to stay healthy and had a career high in starts behind the plate.
Hit .265 this spring, and a year ago .295. Only Yadier Molina appeared in more games behind the dish last year than this man, Francisco Cervelli.
And he's, you know, he's their everyday catcher, but their backup, Chris Stewart, has a 2-year contract, and Cervelli is going to be a free agent after this year.
The 0-1 from Adam Wainwright. And now it's 0-2.
It's early, the first game of the year, but you do expect, look how far Yachty was set up outside, but a perfect pitch down and away. You expect Adam now ahead in the count 0-2 to be able to either strike him out or have a weak ground ball. But he's in the true hole with the 0-2 count.
Here it comes.
And that curveball, you can throw it in various different ranges. Take a little off, add a little to it.
Wainwright against the Pirates is 11-6 all time, 23 starts, 28 appearances, including his first coming back from his Achilles injury a season ago.
He's lost his last 3 starts here at PNC.
Popped up on the infield, now on the outfield grass, and there is Jed Jerko. He puts it away. David Freese gave the Pirates a chance. Wainwright pitches out of an early jam. Get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now and catch every moment on America's fastest-growing network, LTE Network. Well, the Cardinals have lost a couple of shortstops in Tejada, Peralta, and also Jose Oquendo, if you want to throw him in the mix too. So it's also changed up what they have coaching and responsibilities. Chris Maloney takes over at third. You just saw Billy Miller, who's also setting the infield defenses. Maloney will set up the outfield, but Chris is at third. Billy Miller is at first base. Mike Matheny back once again at the helm. Year number 5 for the Cardinals.
Year number 5, first manager in Major League history. First 4 years of his reign has reached postseason. A little bit misleading because the very first year was the double wild card. So that was the only time, or that was the first time he ever had a second wild card team. But still remarkable for Mike.
Randall Grichuk. No Peter Borges, no Jason Hayward. John Jay is gone, and so it has opened up the door for the young players like Grichuk and Piscotty in 2016. So much potential for Randall Grichuk as he's dealt with a lot of injuries. Just a season ago, back injury twice. Dealt with a sore right elbow, had a sports hernia 2015 alone. and still was able to knock out 47 extra base hits. That's Randal Grichuk.
That was second most of National League rookies, and he missed all that time. Got tremendous power potential. He's 3 for 6 off of Liriano. So 3 hits and 3 strikeouts.
And he strikes out here, number 2 this afternoon for Liriano. Follow Cardinals baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any time with Game Day Live, video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone or tablet. So 2 strikeouts for Liriano, and it brings in Stephen Piscotty. Lined into the Cardinals dugout, but everybody seems to be all right.
Piscotty and Grichuk, club is asking an awful lot of these 2 youngsters, but I think we were both very confident that they're going to hold up and have good seasons.
Had a very good spring, team high .333 average. Led the club with 17 hits. And we forget, because of what he did in the second half of last year, also a very good series against the Cubs with 3 home runs, he was the Cardinals minor league player of the year.
Got to the big leagues and made a rapid progress. Great impression. He has faced Liriano last season, 0 for 3 against him.
In the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. His time is called by Piscotty. Liriano is now 9 strikeouts shy of 1,400 for his career.
Liriano and Wainwright both made their major league debut back in 2005.
That time Liriano is with Minnesota. He's also pitched with the White Sox and now Pittsburgh. 3 strikeouts in a row. 5 up, 5 down. So from the youngsters to the veteran, Yadier Molina, 12th consecutive opening day start. 3rd highest total in franchise history behind the Wizard, the Hall of Famer, with 13, and another Hall of Famer, Lou Brock, with 14 consecutive opening day starts.
And if Yadier continues to put up the numbers he has, he'll be joining the Hall of Fame, those other 2. I can't wait for opening day to see Lou Brock.
Me neither. Molina did not start swinging the bat officially in games until about midway through camp, dealing with the multiple surgeries that he had on the hand. And the Cardinals at the start of camp were just wondering, would he be available for opening day, period? Well, here he is. He's going to get a lot of playing time. Brian Pena injured. Eric Fryer making the opening day roster for St. Louis as the backup catcher. Here's the 0-2. Molina lines it into right. It is slicing and it is foul.
Dan, I think we both believe that he's swinging the bat better this spring than he did last spring. And I think you don't realize, as you see how the ball tailing going foul, but the beating that a catcher's thumb takes on the glove hand. Had 2 surgeries on that left hand.
It's another 0-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Yadier Molina. Liriano strikes out the side in the top of the 2nd. Up next, Jim Hayes visits with John Mozeliak, the Cardinals GM. Stay with us. Outfield, left oblique tightness is what we're told with Tommy Pham, so he's out of the game. We're only in the bottom of the second and opening day. So there's Holiday to that familiar spot in left field. It'll be Gregory Polanco, Josh Harrison, Jordy Mercer for the Pirates as we turn it over to Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Yeah, Dan, the Cardinals have already had more than their share of injuries, and it is just the opener today. I'm with John Mozeliak. John, so what's going on with Tommy Pham?
Well, he was removed for the game for precautionary reasons, but he felt some tightness on his left side in the oblique area. He noticed it during batting practice today, tried to go with it, but unfortunately had to be removed.
That's going to be a double off the wall. You guys have had more than your share of injuries to this point. The news on Jordan Walden, who pitched so well in limited time during spring training, it's a little more serious than you guys suspected, right?
Well, I think all of our offseason planning was centered around him not being able to pitch. And so when you looked at how well he was throwing in spring training, there was that level of hope that maybe he could do it. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
Tejada, the shortstop you brought in to replace Johnny Peralta, who was injured. What's the status of Tejada right now?
You know, I don't think he's that severe, but I also don't think he could play this week, and so we couldn't go short. So ultimately, we'll send him down to Jupiter, let him rehab, but hopefully he's on the 15-day for just that.
And the latest on Brian Pena, who has a knee issue.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate. About a week and a half ago, he slipped down a set of stairs up in Melbourne when we were playing the Nationals. And, you know, unfortunately, something happened that day to his knee, and now he has some loose bodies, and therefore those will have to be removed, and he'll likely do that on Tuesday.
Boy, the injuries are coming in bunches for you guys. Matt Holliday started at first base. He's not there right now. Obviously, going into spring training, it was a bit of a project, and he did enough to make you guys believe at least there's a comfort level at first for Matt.
Well, that's right, and I think anybody that got to watch him play throughout the spring realized that he felt pretty good over there, and obviously the manager and his staff felt confidence in allowing him to do that. But you know, he deserves a lot of credit for that, because we did try to keep this under the radar. He worked with his father and Jose Oquendo all offseason, and he prepared himself to give him a shot, and it looked like it worked.
Well, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Jim.
All right, Danny. Jim, great to hear your voice. Our thanks to Mo. 2-1 pitch here to Josh Harrison. Hit up the middle. Jerko to his left. Makes the play. The throw to Adams, and that advances Polanco from second to third. I thought, for my money, Jordan Walden looked the best of any pitcher I saw in camp. I thought he was that good.
I talked to one scout after we saw Walden. It was the second to last time he pitched, and he was raving about it.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about some of the other guys and this and that. He just said, Walden, wow, looks great. And, you know, as I said, you kind of went in with plans not expecting him to be with the ball club. But then once again, you got real excited about him being another weapon down there in the bullpen for Mike Matheny. But that'll be a lost cause for a while. Infield in for Mercer.
You have the 8th place hitter here, the pitcher on deck that does not swing the bat that well. You just wonder if Mercer will see any pitches to hit here in the bottom of the second.
Mercer, especially when you consider the fact that Mercer hit 2 home runs against Yachty. And you see the breaking ball, and nice stop there, patented technique of knocking that ball down and keeping it right in front of you.
Wainwright pitched out of trouble in the bottom of the first. Dealing with trouble here now in the bottom of the second. Molina sets up a foot outside. Hit off the end of the bat and foul.
Yeah, Yachty's sitting so far outside, but Adam Wainwright is a veteran. He knows the situation. He knows who's on deck. But I think in his mindset, he still believes that I can get this guy out. It's just too easy to turn around and just put another guy on base. So if you have the confidence, go after him, but you better get him out.
The 1-1. Again, blocked by Yadier Molina. He's been busy today already behind the plate.
And Dan, you just can't emphasize enough what that means to a pitcher that when you have a runner at third base and you have the catcher that just call that breaking ball down and away with a runner at third base and know that it's going to be blocked even if you bounce the ball.
2 balls, 1 strike on Jordy Mercer. 244 a year ago. Wainwright and Molina, these two know each other so well. 185th start together. Next on the active list, Madison Bumgarner and Buster Posey at 137, all-time in Cardinals history. And they certainly could pass this mark this year. Bob Gibson, Tim McCarver, they were together for 197 starts. So runners at the corners. And it brings in Francisco Liriano. Friday, April 15th, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older take home their very own replica Busch Stadium 3 with working lights. One of a kind stadium replica represented by Ameren, Missouri. Visit Cardinals.com/promotions to purchase April 15th tickets. It's the Cards and Reds, and that weekend is full of giveaways. The stadium, the Wainwright bobblehead, and also the Yadier Molina jersey giveaway.
You saw Wainwright pitch to the situation, and instead of just putting up 4 and potentially walking the 8th place hitter, bring up the pitcher and let Waino have a chance to see if Mercer would get himself out.
Liriano hit 169 last year, and he singles into right. It's a base hit, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh on a Francisco Liriano single into right field.
And I'm looking for a ground ball. We got one, but he's able to pull it through on the right side and give the Pirates that 1-run lead. Almost hit the runner Mercer, but let that breaking ball up. Just a 121 hitter and picked up his 11th career RBI.
A cool day. They'll get the jacket to Liriano, make sure he stays warm. The leadoff man, John Jaso, will dig in for the 2nd time. He grounded out first time up.
Jaso,
Colton Wong, and I just wonder if the Cardinals are questioning whether or not that did hit the runner. That's what Adam Wainwright, I believe, is asking Trip Gibson, the second base umpire. They're going to take a look at this too.
Outrage.
My understanding is that there's something going on in the Cardinals dugout with their replay system, and so that they're not being forced to say, okay, if we challenge this, we lose another challenge. That today could be one of those days where they can challenge because of the faulty equipment.
And really hard to tell from that angle where they hit that the heel. Didn't take him long.
That's it. So here is John Jaso. 0 for 1, and it's runners at first and second with only 1 out.
This is going to be probably part of a platoon with Michael Morris at first base. He'd only had 5 innings at first base in his career.
Fights it off with a flare into right center, and that drops in for a hit. Another run will score, and it's 2-0 Pittsburgh.
So the leadoff guy is a catcher outfielder, but they got him playing first base. And remember Moneyball? Remember Scott Hattiesburg? To take a look at this little floater that just gets over the outstretched glove of Wong and goes for an RBI single. But I think Jaso's high on base percentage is the reason they got him playing first base, trying to keep him in the lineup.
Here's McCutcheon. Was hit on a 1-2 pitch back in the first inning, then left stranded. McCutcheon with a fly ball into center field. Broke his bat, hit it off the end of the bat. Bridgick makes the catch, and there's 2 down. This is already the 8th plate appearance for the Pirates with a runner in scoring position. And there's only 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
David Freese, who had a single his first time, come up here with a chance to do some 2-out damage.
Singled up the middle on a 3-2 pitch. Left stranded back in the first. And he looks at a strike. He was the Cardinals' opening day third baseman for 5 straight years. Played in nearly 500 games wearing the birds on the bat. He hit .286 with St. Louis.
Everybody will remember his postseason heroics, won't they?
Oh yeah. I'm sure it'll be a neat moment for David to come back to town and hear that ovation that he'll get back in St. Louis, and it'll be thunderous, I'm sure. The 1-1 pitch to David Freese. Curveball and a beauty.
Remember the heroics, the ball that got over the head of Nelson Cruz in right field? Came in from the airport with Sutcliffe. And Sutcliffe told me that Nelson Cruz told him the reason he came in 15 feet because he wanted to be part of the celebration. And that ball got over his head.
1-2 pitch. Another curveball misses low and away. David Freese was sent from St. Louis to the Angels. Peter Borges, now with the Phillies, came over in that deal. And so did Randall Grichuk. Fernando Salas still working out of the pen for the Los Angeles Angels. The 2-2 pitch with 2 on and 2 outs. Ground ball hit left side, and Carpenter flips it over to Adams. The Pirates grab an early lead. RBI for Liriano, and muscled out by Jaso into center field to score the second run. Phillips 66 with 8 gallons or more. Now until September 29th, you'll receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. Jim Hayes is with us, Al Raboski, the Mad Hungarian. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and our entire Fox Sports Midwest crew. 2-0 Pirates, and Liriano has struck out 4 of the first 6 he has seen. Cardinals have already lost a player in Tommy Pham. First plate appearance for Colton Wong, and he looks at strike one. Hit .304 this spring. We've had a couple of reviews in this game already. Last inning, it was a crew chief review. We're going to have more on that. What's happening with the Cardinals and their system down in their dugout in the clubhouse in just a moment. So you could have unlimited reviews potentially here today. Here's a 1-1. Liriano threw his fastball 47% of the time a year ago. That's 10th lowest among all starters in baseball. His slider 33% of the time, 7th most. You would think that Colton Wong is going to get a slider before this at bat is through.
Absolutely. You know, very tough. And there's a slider there. It wasn't a good one, but you got to make sure it's a strike, because your players get themselves out chasing that pitch. He struck out 4 in a row.
The 2-2.
Good fastball in on the hands, setting up that slider away. But the question is, Liriano, does it repeat the fastball back in the hands and get you to jam yourself? Going away.
The 2-2 again, and it is a strikeout of Wong. That's 5 in a row in terms of strikeouts for Francisco Liriano, and 7 in a row to set down the Cardinals to start this afternoon. Let's check in with Jim Hayes again. Jimmy.
Dan, they noticed before the game that the Cardinals video feed was slower than the Pirates video feed. It was a delay to the start of the game. That was the reason they were trying to rectify it. They couldn't, so the umpiring crew decided the best fix would be to give the Cardinals unlimited crew chief challenges, meaning they have a question, they make it known to the crew chief. They won't be charged, but they knew about this before the game, then they couldn't fix it.
All right, Jimmy, thanks. Here's Jed Jerko. It probably explains too why you would have a challenge from Mike Matheny early in the game on a 1-2 pitch with nobody on with McCutchen. I mean, you want to save those if you can. As Jerko fouls it back.
It was kind of surprising to do something that early, but now we know. So they checked to see if McCutchen was ruled a hit by a pitch. Found out they affirmed that. But then we had the umpires or crew chief challenge a moment ago.
The 2-1. Pitcher Adam Wainwright is on deck. A lot of talk after the injury of Wainwright a year ago. Do you eliminate pitchers batting in the National League? Francisco Liriano would have a thought or two about that, wouldn't he? As the Cardinals get their first base runner of the day, and it's a walk to Jed Jerko.
I just say leave the National League game alone. It's much better baseball without the DH.
John Mozeliak made some headlines. We're at the winter warm-up. I was interviewing him on the main stage, and he said, I know some fans aren't going to like this, but there is momentum, in his opinion, that the DH is coming to the National League. And all of a sudden it exploded across the country for those that follow the game that, uh-oh, this may be happening. But since that time, that stance is cooled. There's Wainwright squared to bunt. Cardinals trailing 2-0 here in the top of the third.
Belly out to talk to Liriano. They had Freeze charging at third base, coming way down the line. So Adam had to bunt it down the first base line.
130th year of Pirates baseball here in Pittsburgh. The Cardinals opening up season number 125 here today. Wainwright again squares to bunt. And pushed it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Adam won the bunting contest in spring training.
Because of that, it was just last Sunday he had the day off while everybody was at work at spring training. That was his reward for winning that bunting contest.
Now the bat out, unfair territory, and that's why when you make contact, they run a foul.
The 1-1. Once it out in front of the plate, and a throw into center field. Jerko on his way to third. And Aaron Cervelli, who was so good defensively last year for Pittsburgh. And the Cardinals have something going here in the top of the third.
Well, Adam, first of all, he doesn't get the bunt down, far enough away. It's right there in the dirt. Cervelli picks it up, sidearm, so it sails. And that ball just took off towards right field. Nobody had a chance of that. Jerko could go to third, and the Cardinals have a great chance to get back into this ball game right now.
Fielder's choice and an error on Cervelli. And it brings in Carpenter, who was so good in this spot a year ago. One of the top RBI men in the National League. He drove in 84. 331 his average the last 3 years. With runners in scoring position, 5th best in Major League Baseball. First time up, grounded out sharply on a backhanded play to the first baseman, John Jaso.
Real key right here for Carpenter. So many times last year was the bottom part of the order would get on base, and then we roll it over to Carpenter and he'd bring him in. But with Pham out, then you have Adams, a left-handed batter, but he's 4 for 10 against Liriano, so it could work to our favor.
First plate appearance with a runner in scoring position for the Cardinals. Nice play by Cervelli to pick that. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Adam just deadened that ball too much. It doesn't roll out on the grass, so it was easy for Cervelli to pick it up. But then he threw the ball away.
An amazing stat concerning Matt Carpenter in the leadoff spot since 1974. There's what he's done with runners in scoring position. But since 74, the 4th best combined on base percentage and slugging percentage among leadoff men. 4th best that time.
He's been such a force for the Cardinals. They're tempted to move him down the order, but he seems to respond in this leadoff spot.
3-1.
Such a good hitter. It shouldn't make a difference wherever he is, but the numbers don't lie. When he's in the leadoff spot is when he really produces.
Matt Adams is at the on-deck circle. And Carpenter a chance to do some damage here. A 3-1 pitch. Ground ball hit to short. Could be 2. Mercer steps on the bag and fires a strike to Jaso. Midway through 3 on opening day. Pirates on top. With a ticket, receive a poster celebrating the past 10 seasons at Busch Stadium 3, courtesy of Shelter Insurance. Visit Cardinals.com/promotions for tickets. On a 3-1 pitch, Matt Carpenter grounds into an inning-ending double play to end a threat for St. Louis.
Bounce it up the middle, and Mercer was close enough that he could do it himself. Anytime he can avoid making that extra throw, he got himself way off the balance, but he does get the strike there right ahead of Carpenter to complete the double play.
In steps Starling Marte. There's a lick at Clint Hurdle, now in his 6th season as the manager of the Pirates. He's done a great job here.
He's got one of the most popular figures in sports here in Pittsburgh.
Marte with runners at first and third. And one out back in the first, lined out to short. Only player to hit 10 or more home runs and steal 30 or more the past 2 years. So the combination of power and speed was Starling Marte.
Boy, you could say that with all 3 of the Pirate outfielders. Potentially the best outfield in baseball.
0-2 pitch, reaches for it, and a fly ball into center. Grichuk is there. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Pittsburgh with 1 out and nobody on, and it brings in Francisco Cervelli and some new faces for the Cardinals. Matt Bowman, a Rule 5 pick, makes the club. Mike Leake, the free agent signing of 5 years. Singwon Oh working out of the pen. Eric Fryer, who signed as a free agent. Jed Jerko, the John Jay trade with the Padres, and then Jeremy Hazelbaker really opened up a lot of eyes in spring training and made his first opening day assignment. Cervelli popped out with 2 outs and 2 on back in the first.
Mentioned that he just had a career year last season for the Buccos, and he's a potential free agent. They've already signed his backup, Chris Stewart, to a 2-year contract, but it looks like they're going to let Cervelli walk.
Big gap in left center. Curveball missed.
A lot of people expected the Pirates to really miss Russell Martin, but Cervelli did such a good job, he really neutralized that loss.
3-1. The wild card unkind to Pittsburgh, to say the least. They lost to the Cardinals 3 years ago in the postseason. What was a really entertaining 5-game series. Wainwright went the distance in Game 5. Then they faced Jake Arrieta a year ago, and the NL Cy Young Award winner sent them home a complete game shutout. The year before that, the Pirates notched 88 wins, and then Madison Bumgarner threw a complete game shutout here at the ballpark. And so they're not real happy about those 1-game playoffs. And Clint Hurdle has said the idea is we need to win this division outright, not worry about that. It's part of the game today. I don't like it, but I'll deal with it. It's just the way we have to play.
It's the way you got to have your mindset. You want to win your division. You don't want to kind of back into it or have to play that wild card game. They can attest to that.
So the second walk issued by Adam Wainwright. Here's Polanco, who doubled off the wall in right. He's 24, youngest player on the Pirates roster. Last year, his first full season in the big leagues.
He's got a chance to be a real good one too. So giving you that outfield could be the best in baseball.
Big fan of the Marlins outfield with Stanton and Yelich, Ozuna. And how do you not like what the Pirates have here with their speed and athleticism, anchored by McCutchen in center?
It could go wrong too much with either one of them. Polanco is 2 for 2 now against Adam, and he came in batting over .350 against the Cardinals in his young career.
and 2 strikes. Saw the Cardinals a year ago, and a lot of teams did this with Polanco. They would try to really pitch him in. It's kind of long and lanky, and that swing can be very long too. So a lot of teams try to go inside and take advantage of that.
And now with 2 strikes, they take Carpenter, the third baseman, and move him to the second base side, so you get the 3 infielders on the right side.
Short lead at first by Cervelli. The 1-2 pitch. Fly ball. Shallow right. Piscotty. Fox Sports Midwest giving you a behind-the-scenes view of the Cardinals with news, features, and more on Cardinals Insider. This week, find out how Fredberg gets ready for opening day. We'll profile the director of player development. We'll recap Cardinals night at the Blues game. Cardinals Insider brought to you by your Mid-America Chevy dealers today after the game right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Here's a look at Mike Leake. Signed a 5-year, $80 million deal to join the Cardinals.
I think we're going to be very happy with him.
Now Josh Harrison, who grounded out first time up. Harrison getting a chance to play second base every day as he takes over for Neil Walker. Walker was traded to the New York Mets for Jonathan Neese, and we'll see Neese pitch in Game 2 of this series.
A few years ago, an all-star, kind of moving all around the infield.
Yeah, he really is the ultimate utility player. High energy, positive, likable. 0-1.
Now that he's playing every day in a position, I think they've come up with another good one in Sean Rodriguez, who really hurt the Cardinals last year. Did very well against them.
Harrison, an all-star 2 years ago. Last year, limited in his playing time because he dealt with a thumb injury early on. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good fastball. And it's 1-2.
Adam just has to go out there and hold them down. Question all spring the offense, the Cardinals, and so we fall behind. It feels like it's insurmountable, but we know the Cardinal offense can click.
Short lead at first by Cervelli. Held on to by Molina, and the first strikeout for Adam Wainwright. When we come back, Big City, Matt Adams. He'll lead it off. Cardinals down by 2. as he made the start. And so Matt Adams came in, took over at first base. Then that moved Holliday from first base to left field. So this will be the first plate appearance for Big City.
Mentioned that he's 4 for 10 against Liriano. So see if that trend can't continue. Cardinals only had one base runner, walked to Jerko. And at one point, Liriano struck out 5 in a row.
Some of the best at bats in the final, I'd say, 7 to 10 days of spring training were from the man at the plate. Talked to him extensively about what he's done differently at the plate. You'll see him not sway as much or rock back and forth. He's really made a conscious effort to keep his weight back, and you can see that paying dividends with the way that he was driving the ball to left and also to center.
And to me, that was the key, the way he's taking the ball to all fields. You know, he's big enough, strong enough that he can hit it out of any part of the park. But when you start driving the ball to the opposite field, and you have to change your pitching pattern, you can't stay in one area.
Here's a 1-1. And a good chance for Adams to show he wants to be in there against lefties in his career. Just a 197 hitter. So working on that lunging, trying to keep his balance and weight back. In the hole here, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Liriano has already struck out 5. Make it 6.
There's that slider we talk about, that it's out of the strike zone, but you go out there and you're tempted and you commit. Strikeout Holiday, that started it. And he had 5 in a row. And then offensively, he drives in the first run of 2016 for the Buccos. First run of baseball, 2016.
The Cardinals still looking for their first hit. They do have a base runner. That was Jed Jerko with a walk back in the 3rd inning. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Matt Holliday. Holliday lines it into center field for a base hit.
You get credit when you jinx them, that it works in
The
our
other way?
favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Right back up the middle and on through for Holliday. He hits the ball so hard. So does Gritchick. Got that high velocity coming off the bat.
Very short lead at first by Holliday. 1 out as we play here in the top of the 4th. Ground ball hit to short under the glove of Mercer and into left field. Maybe a case of trying to do too much. Backhand, then spin towards second base.
That's right. His mind was already judging he was going to catch the ball and try and pivot it to second base to get the double play, but you got to catch it first. And also the fact that Gritchick gets the ball so hard, it kind of ate up Mercer there.
It is ruled a base hit. Runners at first and second for Stephen Piscotty.
You say he played it into a base hit?
Piscotty struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Just the 2nd at bat for the Cardinals this afternoon with a runner in scoring position.
Got to get at least one of these runs back.
The 1-0. What a year it was for Piscotty as he burst onto the scene for St. Louis. 25-year-old. 63 games. Hit .393 with runners in scoring position. The 1-1. Pulled foul.
How about, hit over 300 last season at the big league level, but how about the 3 home runs he hit in postseason in 4 games against the Cubs?
At the time of his promotion last July, 11 home runs, 372 plate appearances for Memphis. The year before that, only 9 home runs total. They worked with his swing, the plane of the bat. He's now getting lift and hitting with power. Check swing and a strikeout. That's 7 for Liriano and 2 in the inning.
Liriano has that ability to get a lot of called check swings. As he has that late movement, you start your swing, you can't stop it. Now it's up to Yachty with 2 outs to do something.
He's called out on strikes. Back in the second inning. Runners at first and second. Ball 1. Liriano is with Cervelli. Battery mates for the 2nd consecutive season in terms of their opening day starts. The first time that has happened since back in the 98-99 season for Pittsburgh. That was Francisco Cordova and Jason Kendall.
See if Yachty can't shoot one to right field. Keep on working him away. Ball behind the count now, 3-0.
Wong is on deck. And it's a walk, so the bases are loaded. Second walk issued from the left-hander, the Pirates. And just like we were talking about with Matt Adams, it's also a chance for Colton Wong to prove to Mike Matheny and John Mozeliak that he should play every day against lefties. If you add Peralta or Tejada, a left-hander on the mound, you may see Jerko play second base.
I was going to say, and Jerko has good numbers against left-handed pitching.
And Wong looks at a ball.
If you really looked at it, Wong with his ability to hit right-handed pitching, Jerko's ability to hit left-handed pitching, and you got a nice little combination there. But Colton, you'd like to see him really take off and show that he can have 2 good halves, a first and a second.
He was going after that pitch after 5 straight balls.
And it's a pitch out of the strike zone also. So once again, you've got to swing at pitches in the strike zone.
The 1-1. Now 1-2. Once again, this sold-out crowd will come alive here at PNC Park. Two and 2.
Cold. Swing and a strike. Beat off this energy too.
Strikes out the side. Liriano, you knew he was going to be tough. He's through 4 innings and already with 8 strikeouts this afternoon. difference maker. A look at his last 5 full seasons. Last year cut short. When he puts together a full season, you're usually looking at a lot of wins.
Well, he's looking at second or third place in the Cy Young. He probably should already have at least one Cy Young award.
8-9-1 in the lineup for Pittsburgh. 2-0 Pirates. RBIs by Liriano and Jaso back in the second inning. Mercer walked and scored back in the second. Wainwright now 34 years old. 5th career opening day assignment. 4th straight for the Cardinals. Last year he was injured on April 25th. At that point he had made 4 starts. Missed over 140 games.
And he got out to a great start. ERA under 2.
He was telling me at the end of spring this is the best that his arm has felt in over 3 years. Byproduct of being injured last year. Slowly hit to second, gobbled up by Wong. Remember, it was in Milwaukee late April. He was at the plate when he was injured. Went out with the Achilles, and he thought at that time, well, his season is through. We'll see in spring training. That was not the case. Amazingly, found himself back on the mound September 30th, and it was at this ballpark. And Wainwright, I'm sure for his own mindset, just to see that he could be back and pitch and be healthy going into the offseason, puts you at ease.
Well, we talked about it, that because he came back and made 3 appearances in the regular season, pitched in postseason in relief, he could have a normal offseason and not worry about the Achilles. And as you said, the benefit of the arm. Just a question in my mind is, does he get enough innings in spring training?
The 0-2 is a curveball and a called 3rd strike. Strikeout number 2 for Wainwright.
I'm sure Waino's going, why couldn't I have done that back in the second inning? Liriano got the base hit, drove in a run, and then Jaso got a base hit and drove into the second.
He's grounded out to second. Fought off a pitch into shallow center field, and that brought in the second run of the afternoon, Jordy Mercer. One ball and 1 strike.
Adam a few years ago said he set a goal in spring training to lead the league in innings pitched. And then he realized, well, that really doesn't do a lot of good. So by design, they kind of limited the innings so he'll be ready and have bullets left in October.
2-2. And a swing and a miss. So Jaso down on strikes. 2 in a row and 3 today for Adam Wainwright. Jed Jerko coming up. We head to the 5th on opening day. Pat, thank you. Great to hear your voice again, and happy opening day. Here's Jed Jerko on the first pitch. Pops it up. And it's put away by Josh Harrison. Well, we've seen the return of David Freese, Jim Hayes, to the National League.
Yeah, I was talking to David about being back in the NL Central and about facing his old team today. I asked him if he thought it would be odd. He told me everyone wants it to be odd, but it's not. He said so much time has passed since he was a Cardinal, and because, as you pointed out earlier, Dan, he works out in Jupiter with Matt Holliday and Matt Carpenter in the offseason. He sees him quite a bit anyway. He told me his plan today was to, quote, wink at Waino before getting into the box and then go to work. Dan, he says he really feels like he's found a good fit with the Pirates.
One of the real good people in the game, too, right, Jimmy?
No question. Good guy.
There was an article written in the Post-Dispatch by Benjamin Hockman, I believe, and he had the chance to catch up with Freese, and he said occasionally you'll still have to pay for a meal in St. Louis, but it's few and far between after what he did for the St. Louis Cardinals. 9 strikeouts today. Reminder, the Cardinals' first home weekend series at Busch Stadium is against Cincinnati. And 30,000 fans ages 16 and over. This is Sunday, April 17th. We'll take home the replica Yadier Molina home white jersey. One-of-a-kind jersey, features a special 10th anniversary Busch Stadium 3 patch. And tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions. Notice the Cardinals have gone from 25,000 to 30,000 with their giveaways. That weekend features the bobblehead of Adam Wainwright, Molina jersey, and Busch Stadium 3 giveaway. Real key spot in this game for the Cardinals was Carpenter up, runners at first and third, back in the third, and only one out, and Matt rounded into a double play. The Pirates turned 177 last year, second in all of baseball. Ray Searage, their outstanding pitching coach, preaches the two-seamer and cutters, likes to see ground balls, and with all the shifts, a lot of times they're in the right spot to make those plays happen.
Sometimes that can be misleading. Sometimes it would be misleading with the fact that you have a poor pitching staff and you have so many base runners. But in the case of the Pirates, it was by design. You know, play that good defense, you win with your pitching, your defense, and they were strong up the middle.
One and two the count on Carpenter. He's 0 for 2 today. Now time is called.
Yeah, with Gung and Neil Walker was traded for Nice for the. They've lost 50 home runs, the Pirates.
Inside.
So Liriano has that good slider going away from the left-handed batters, but to keep them honest, they'll run that fastball in on the hands. That'll keep him from diving across the plate.
The 2-2. Full count.
Crowd really begging, and so is Cervelli. So he wants a slider, bounce it. He gets down there and tries to go immediately, but not going to call that one a strike.
3-2 pitch to Carpenter. Missed in. So Carpenter works the walk, and it brings the tying run to the plate in Matt Adams. Carpenter, really interesting to see what he does in terms of walks. He had 72 3 years ago, led the league 2 years ago at 95, and just a season ago with 81. You know he's going to see a lot of pitches, draw walks.
But keeps that on base percentage up. Not your typical leadoff hitter, but
and the third walk issued by Liriano. So here is Adams. Took over for Tommy Pham in this spot in the lineup. Pham out with an oblique.
Well, they felt something in batting practice, but opening day, you want to be in the lineup. Hopefully it didn't aggravate it too much.
Big shift here put on by the Pirates here with Adams. They have here in Pittsburgh, as Cervelli out to visit, the rare collaborative culture between analytics and the field staff. And so much so, Clint Hurdle told me that they travel a analytics coach to sit in on all the meetings to explain to the players and to the coaching staff why they're doing what they're doing. He said it really came to him when he was at MLB Network working as an analyst, seeing the analytics, and then he said he was resistant at first, but they weren't winning. He said, I'll try anything. They did that, and they started to win. Slowly hit. Jordy Mercer. Shortstop puts it away. The Cardinals have stranded 5. We're midway through 5. Pittsburgh on top. Cards and Pirates, Pittsburgh with a 2-0 lead. This week only, T-Mobile customers can get a free season-long subscription to MLB.TV Premium. Go to T-Mobile.com/MLB to sign up now. Catch every moment on America's fastest-growing network, the LTE network. Wainwright is settled in after a shaky first couple of innings.
You're right. The last couple of innings, that demeanor on the mound is much more forceful.
Was tired 8 of the last 9, and the one he did not get out was a walk to Cervelli back in the 3rd. 1 ball, 1 strike on Andrew McCutchen. Quite an honor for McCutchen. Does a lot of charitable work in this area and down in Florida, his home state. The 2015 Roberto Clemente Award winner.
Remember, this is an MVP in the past, but he said that award meant more to him than any of the others.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Seven straight opening day starts for McCutchen. Last to do that in Pittsburgh was Andy Van Slyke. The 2-2. The fly ball out to left. Holiday is there. McCutchen is 0 for 2. Here's David Freese. Singled on a 3-2 pitch to center field back in the 1st, was left stranded. And with 2 runners on, grounded out to third in his second plate appearance.
Mentioned that he kind of said he was going to wink at Adam when he came up the box. You know, the first time you faced somebody that was a good teammate. I remember in my case, Tim McCarver was very, very good to me. You know, as a young player, and when the first time I faced him, he got a base hit against me, and I kind of, I was so mad at myself because I let our friendship affect that at bat. And it taught me a lesson that, hey, it's okay to hate your ex-teammates. Once I got the understanding it's okay to hate people, and I was back in gear.
That's pleasant, Al.
Yes.
Happy opening day to you.
Thank you, sir.
You are the Mad Hungarian. The 1-2. Freeze takes a hanging breaking ball and drives it into left. So the first hit for the Pirates since back in the second. Just watching Wainwright's reaction, he was upset knowing he hung this breaking ball.
Yeah, there you see, look at Yachty. Wanted that ball down and away, and he just kind of had a hump in it, and David Freese did what he should do with it. It's his second hit of the day. Hit it with authority.
Starling Marte.
Hit the ball twice hard, but nothing to show for it.
Line to short, line to center. And a strike to Marte. 1 out, 1 on, and a 2-0 lead for Pittsburgh. They about hit the Cardinals 5-2. Both teams have stranded 5 in this game. Ground ball left side. Carpenter on the short hop. Wong the turn. It's a double play. Started by Carpenter. 5, 4, 3 on the double play. Not an easy hop for the Cardinal third baseman to handle. First national telecast of the season this Thursday. Prince Fielder and the Rangers take on Mike Trout and the Angels. It's all on America's home for baseball all season long, FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. We talked about how managers have a certain amount of time to go visit with their pitchers. There's also a new slide rule going into second base. You have to go directly into the base and not at the fielder.
And you can't roll block. You can't. You have to go straight. You cannot alter your running lane to go after a fielder, and that is all reviewable now.
Neighborhood play is something that's been talked about.
That's reviewable.
Holiday got the first Cardinals hit, a base hit to center field in the fourth. Liriano has struck out 9, and the 1-1. It'll be a week from tomorrow. We'll be at Busch Stadium for the home opener, and still some seats remain for that home opener against Milwaukee. The term that is used by Major League Baseball concerning that slide rule, bona fide slide. Remember, it was Holiday a couple of years ago with Marco Scutaro in the postseason.
Right. Yeah, you can't. You have to definitely slide, and maybe this is the start we get. Fourth walk by Liriano.
Hey, Cardinals fans, next time you want to grab seats, get the StubHub app. Not only will you find seats you'll love, whenever you want, you can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by the best value. Get the StubHub app today. So again, the Cardinals bring the tying run to the plate. And it brings in Randal Grichuk, who singled under the glove of Jordy Mercer on a hard hit ball back in the fourth.
Remember, one of our Toyota keys is you got to get to them before you can get late in the game. They're 79-1 when leading after 7th inning.
And Mark Melancon out there, Archimedes Caminero, who has found a home, a hard throwing right-hander for the Pirates. Tony Watson, the outstanding lefty, so their bullpen is stacked.
And Jared Hughes, the guy that come in to get double plays. But when you talk about Tony Watson and Melancon, you're talking about the best 1-2 combination in the National League. Cardinals are good with Segras and Rosenthal, but Melancon had 51 saves and was the Rolaids relief man. Also the Trevor Hoffman reliever of the year.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Randal Grichuk. In the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. This is what can happen at times with Liriano. We've seen it in the past where it's as if he's just sailing along, and then Ray Searage has talked about it, the pitching coach. Mechanics get a little out of whack, and he has issues with location.
Well, you can see 80
pitch count is at 80.
Yeah, but look at that. It's 37 balls, 43 strikes. So he's walked 4 already, but it's such a key, to swing at the strikes. Don't expand the zone. That's happened quite a bit with his 9 strikeouts today.
There's a look at Ray Searage. 2 balls, no strikes. See if they turn him loose and you get a tie game right here. 2-1. Grichuk is a career .357 hitter at this ballpark. Instead of being 3-0, you're looking at 2-1 on that borderline pitch.
Oh, but that's good discipline not to swing at that pitch that's just, a perfect pitch down and away.
Very short lead at first after the leadoff walk. The 2-1. Make it 2-2.
Got that excellent changeup that boy.
Full count. An issue with Grichuk is that with the power comes strikeouts, so might be taking a chance if you start the runner Holiday here on this 3-2.
And here, once again, you got to be careful. He can throw any of his 3 pitches for strikes or borderline pitches.
Not running, and the pitch is a called third strike, and that's 10 strikeouts today for Liriano.
Trying to get to 1,400 today, isn't he?
He's 1 away. What's on Tap is presented by Budweiser. It's an off day tomorrow for these two clubs. And then we'll see Michael Wacha make his season debut against Jonathan Neese, the former Met. That's our Budweiser What's on Tap. Tuesday at 5:30 will come your way here on Fox Sports Midwest. That pitch taken low by Stephen Piscotty. Wacha last year led the Cardinals with 17 wins. And Jonathan Neese comes from New York in the Neil Walker deal. The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Stephen Piscotty.
See, it's starting to fall behind the count consistently to the Cardinal hitters. He's bent, but he hasn't broken yet. 2 hits allowed, 4 walks.
The 2-0. If you're wondering, the career high for Liriano in strikeouts is 15. Currently, he is at 10. Back in 2010 when he was with Minnesota against Oakland. And it's a walk. That's 5 today. 2 in the inning. In steps Molina. Come see the Cardinals take on the Reds. April 16th, that's a Saturday. And 30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive an Adam Wainwright bobblehead courtesy of Nathan's Famous and Schnucks. And tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
Serge out to talk to Liriano. He's walked 5 in this game now, 2 of them this inning.
The 10 strikeouts here on opening day, that ties a club record. This is the 24th time, by the way, these two have met on opening day, the Cardinals and the Pirates. Last time was in 2009. That was at Busch Stadium as Caminero begins to throw. And you may remember the Cardinals had a lead late in that game. Jason Mott was in to close, and Jack Wilson, the former Cardinals shortstop, picked up a double with 2 outs, and that scored 2, and the Cardinals lost the game.
Let's get on the scoreboard.
Cardinals with just 2 hits today. Molina, a walk and a strikeout. 0 for 1. And Yachty singles to left field. Chris Maloney will hold up Holiday, and the bases are loaded. Remember, Marte with 16 outfield assists a year ago.
He picked up his Gold Glove today from Rawlings, and then Wilson, he was the Defender of the Year in the National League. But Yachty, a solid single to left, and you could only go 90 feet because of that power arm to left.
So a chance now for Colton Wong.
Cardinals have had their opportunities.
Wong is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Bases loaded here in the top of the 6th. Wong, a little broken bat, and going out making the catch is Harrison. Oh, did he drop it? Looks like he may have.
It's an out.
They're going to call him an out on the catch.
I put my head down, but I'm sure he caught the ball and then tried to take it out of his glove and dropped it. Well, he's trying to do it, get a double play.
No, he just dropped it.
Dropped it.
And the presence of mind to go home to get the lead man. So with that, it brings in Jerko. I think what they called on that play is infield fly.
Exactly.
So the infield fly was called even though it was a soft liner. And that's why the runners were confused. Mike Matheny was questioning the umpires too as Jerko takes a pitch high And it's ball one.
Well, we're on top of the world here. You couldn't see it, an umpire called it from our perch on top of the stadium.
It would have to be the second base umpire, Trip Gibson, with that call. As Jerko takes a ball, 2-0.
See, there's Trip Gibson. And as that little ball goes up there, he's just backpedaling. So yeah, his infielder is able to catch that ball. They call the infield fly rule to really just save the runners from getting thrown out.
Outfield is shallow. 2 balls, no strikes on Jed Jerko. Jerko with a ground ball left side. Freeze. Soft hands. Nice play. And again, Liriano pitches out of trouble. TV. You can now stream games live on your mobile device. Just go to your app store, download the free Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals wherever you go. David Freese with a good play on a short hop to his left. Cardinals had the bases loaded. With this, they get out of the jam.
Yeah, watch, fundamentally he uses 2 hands there, and get a little squibber like that. May not get a true hop, so go out there, use 2 hands, and gets the easy force out.
I was watching the play with Harrison. It didn't seem like the umpire made the infield fly call until after the ball was dropped, and that's why you saw the runners. There was a lot of confusion out there.
Well, that's why, you know, I mean, first game for them too in the regular season, but Gotti didn't like that last kind of a hanger from Wainwright. Wainwright, this is the first time all year that he's gone 5 innings, including spring training. He mentioned it that Cole, who had a rib cage injury, kind of got a late start and hadn't thrown 6 innings and or 100 pitches. So he's under Hurdle's rules. He's not allowed to, make a start yet. In that case, no Cardinal pitcher went beyond 6 innings or 100 pitches. I guess Martinez went 6 innings at one time and did a great job.
2 balls and a strike. Francisco Cervelli, Gregory Polanco, and Josh Harrison home half of the 6th. At times the curveball has been sharp, other times we've seen it up.
You know, sometimes in spring training, a guy like Adam will not work with that curveball as much, just assuming it's going to be there for him. And you see a lot of work on the cutter, getting your fastball command.
Adam is now 8th all-time on the Cardinals wins list. 121, number 1, of course, on that list. Bob Gibson at 251. And the 3-2 pitch to Cervelli. High fly ball, left center. Holiday is over. He'll look up, and it's off the wall. Takes an odd hop off that wall. And Cervelli on his way to third with a leadoff triple.
That'll get the Cardinal bullpen active, as Wainwright is the first scheduled hitter at the bottom of this 6th inning, or excuse me, top of the 7th. I've never seen a ball take a carom like this one. And Cervelli doesn't have a lot of power. Gives this one a ride, goes to the deepest part of the ballpark, right out by the bullpen doors there. And look how it kicks away from Holiday, tracks it down, and Cervelli with the triple.
So runner at third, and here is Polanco. The infield is drawn in. Polanco doubled off the wall and right and scored back in the 2nd.
Curveball starting to float up there a little bit, not coming down with it, pulling down on it.
Singwano is starting to throw in the pen. Good pitch in on the hands of Polanco.
Yeah, good cutter there. There's Adam with various speeds on his fastball, on his curveball and his cutter. There you see the final boss with a Stone Buddha. Which one do you like better?
I want to watch him pitch first.
They're both classic nicknames. All-time save leader in Korea. In the last 2 years, he was a closer in Japan with 80 saves.
One and two the count. The 2-2. Be interesting to hear what Wainwright thinks about, in particular, his curveball here today, which has been for years his signature pitch. Now time called, 3-2 the count. Nobody out, runner at third, and Pittsburgh leading 2-0 here on opening day. The 3-2 pitch, ground ball, foul.
Yeah, I still find it very interesting that players in general, but pitchers are bigger, stronger, more athletic, have more preventative medicine, everything, but they really don't seem to be able to handle the workload. 200 innings is like a standard where it used to be 300.
3-2 pitch and a walk. Third walk issue. To Wainwright and Molina, this combination 185 starts together. Mentioned Bumgarner and Posey, the next among the active players, and then in terms of on the all-time Cardinals list, it's Gibson and McCarver.
A full season with Wainwright and Molina, they should pass Gibby and Timmy.
Here's Harrison, infield in. Out of play.
Coming into this action, the batter for the Pirates that has done the most damage against Wainwright is Harrison, 6 for 13, but he's 0 for 2 today. So he's been able to contain him, and he must do it again right now.
He's grounded out to short, struck out. Wainwright has struck out 3. Outfield is straight away. No balls, 2 strikes. That is the translator for O there on the left. Blaze Ilsley in the center of those two. That's Eugene. Travels with us everywhere we go. He is at the hip of Mr. O.
He's understanding quite a bit. I wonder if he's learning more Spanish than English. Because I have heard him greet people in Spanish.
Pirates trying to add to their 2-run lead. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A lot of pitchers get in trouble when they have a situation like this. Runner at third base, less than 2 outs, and they try to get a strikeout before they have 2 strikes. You can't strike anybody out until you have 2 strikes on.
Molina sets up outside. They were straight away. Started the at bat with Harrison, and now Grichuk has moved a little bit towards right center.
Good gap in left center.
Inning started with a triple off the wall by Cervelli. Polanco drew a walk. Runners at the corners, nobody out. A fly ball into center. Grichuk makes the catch. Runners tagging up. Throw into second base, and out. It's a double play. Run does score. Grichuk the assist from center field with a strong throw to get the speedy Polanco.
Boy, I really like what Grichuk did. Not only was it a strong throw, but he got rid of that ball as quick as possible and got it back in there. And we're going to see the first challenge by the Pirates now. But Grichuk got that ball, rid of it as quick as possible, got it to second base. Wong tried to deke the runner a little bit. We're going to see a challenge.
Grichuk had 3 outfield assists this spring.
Missed the lead leg. Does the left leg come off the bag when it's got the tag on the right leg?
Umpires are looking at the video board here at PNC Park, along with the fans. So it's a Pirates challenge. And again, if they don't have enough evidence to overturn it, even though you may feel that he could be safe, but you're not quite sure, I mean, it has to be definite,
right,
for them to overturn these calls.
And of course, they're just, you know, innocent bystanders now, listening to New York as they're making the decision. The throw was there, but when Wong put the glove down, missed the lead leg, got the bent leg, the back leg, and we'll get a decision right now.
That is indeed the call. It's a double play. So the Cardinals get their second double play of the afternoon. The run does score. That's Cervelli to make it 3-0 Pittsburgh. That lead leg may have come off the bag, and with that, if Long held the tag, which it looks like he did, he gets the right knee of the runner Polanco, and so the call is confirmed on the field. Second double play turned by the Cardinals. A run does score, and now it's Jordy Mercer, the 8th place hitter. The fly ball out to center. Grichuk drifting back to make the catch. So the triple, and Cervelli scores 3-0 as we head to the 7th. Player hits a home run, the Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He's now in his 6th season with the Pirates. Our Chevy called to the pen. He's a good one. Tony Watson, he was 4-1 last year. Last 3 years, he's thrown over 70 innings in each of those seasons. His ERA last season was 1.91.
Well, he's as good as they come. The interesting thing is, you wouldn't expect to see him till the 8th inning. He pitches the 8th, last in the 9th. But Glenn Hurdle told the Pirate broadcasters that he might bring in Watson in the 7th. They were kind of a little bit in disbelief because he hadn't done this for so long. But here he is, Tony Watson, in the 7th inning.
Pinch hitting is Jeremy Hazelbaker.
Major League debut.
Inside. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Liriano, the starter for the Pirates, 6 innings. He was tremendous. 10 strikeouts. Did walk 5. Gave up 3 hits.
Hazelbaker was the biggest surprise in spring training. Led the ball club in steals, also home runs, RBIs. Last year, he went to spring training with the Dodgers. Got released. Had about 12 days, I think it was, where the phone did not ring, and eventually the Cardinals called.
Outside. He said during those 12 days he went back and worked with those that had seen him when he was in a good spot in his career and swinging the bat well, and got back to some of the basics of that swing, and here he is making his major league debut. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So we play here in the top of the 7th. And a called. Third strike on the outside corner. Monday pitch arsenal will tell you that it's a ton of sinkers from Tony Watson.
He just goes out there and he just gets a lot of ground balls. He gets strikeouts. He just attacks the zone. As good a left-handed setup man you'll find in the game today.
Here's Carpenter, 0 for 2 with a walk. Cardinals have stranded 8 in this game. Fly ball. Left field. Marte shading from the sun with the glasses on, puts it away. There's 2 outs. Plaza Tire pitch tracks, pitch location on Fox Tracks.
I see that's a pretty good area where you'd say it's a danger area, but the way he drops down from the side, he releases that ball to a left-hander. It looks like he's throwing it in the middle of their back.
Here's Matt Adams. Adams struck out on a check swing back in the 4th and grounded into the shift back in the 5th. Looks like we'll see the major league debut of O coming up in the bottom of this inning. 3-0 Pittsburgh, the 1-1.
That's 1 for 6 off of Watson with 3 strikeouts. There you see O. Let's get him in this game, find out what we got with him.
On 1-2. Wainwright, his day is through. Cardinals starter. 6 innings today, did walk 3, struck out 3, and leaves trailing by 3. Watson, a strikeout of Adams. The Cardinals have struck out 12 times today. Let's stretch on opening day. Hall of Fame and the annual induction process that gives fans a voice in honoring the team's greatest players. Find the 8-man ballot on Cardinals.com/HOF. Make your selection for the 2 most deserving legends that will go in the Cardinals Hall of Fame class of 2016. Vote now at cardinals.com/HOF. Opening day here in Pittsburgh as the starters both at times look sharp. Liriano was really good in terms of all the strikeouts that he was able to pile up. He picked up 10 this afternoon. And Liriano and the Pirates have a lead over Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals of 3-0.
Adam Wainwright gave up a couple runs in the second inning, but then settled in and did a pretty good job. He got hit, strikeouts 3. But now we turn it over to O, the all-time saves leader in Korea with 357 saves. Last 2 years he pitched in Japan, where he had 39 saves 2 years ago and 41 last year in the Japanese league. His last pitch was on Thursday against the Yankees, an inning with just 1 strikeout. It's a different look coming out of the bullpen from some of all the other arms, the power arms in the Cardinal bullpen. O doesn't throw that hard, but he's a veteran, knows how to pitch. He'll move the ball around and has a combination of pitches that'll make you keep the hitters off balance. I think we're all intrigued to see what he can do at the major league level.
So the starters comparison, 6 innings on both sides, Wainwright and Liriano. Cardinals had opportunities. They have stranded 8 in this game, and they have only 3 hits. So look at the numbers from your starters, and O will pitch and make his major league debut. And talking with Eugene, his translator, he told me that he believes that our telecast will be broadcast in Korea when he comes into games. He'll actually interrupt different television stations, their programming, to show O in pitching. He's regarded as such a celebrity in his homeland. Began his pro career in 2005. That was in his native Korea. As Al told you, Korea, Japan, and now Major League Baseball. 2 balls, no strikes on the pinch hitter, Matt Joyce.
Mastered Korea, so then you go to Japan, did well there. And ultimately you want to see how he'll do in the major leagues. Kind of anxious to talk to Gung and see what he thinks of what he remembers.
Here's a 3-0 pitch. And there's a strike. 3-1. Shift being used here on Joyce, the pinch hitter. O is listed at 5'10", 205 pounds. They've talked about his demeanor. It's unshakable. That's where he got the nickname Stone Buddha. That's hit out of play. It's a 1-year deal with an option for 2017 for the Cardinals. It's a team-held option.
I think equally important is the fact that you're moving into the Asian market and you're making a presence for the Cardinals.
3-2 and did not go. So a leadoff walk.
Trying to come back from a 3-0 deficit and just a little bit low.
It's one thing we saw in spring was very good control from O. I'm sure his emotions are riding high right now. Top of the lineup, John Jaso. RBI single back in the second. He struck out and grounded out. If you're wondering if Derek Lilliquist or Mike Matheny goes out and visits with O, they are allowed to bring the interpreter out to visit and translate, so he could trot out onto the field, which would be unique in itself. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Joyce is running, and it's a ground ball, slowly hit to the right side. Runner advances to second. That's Joyce, and there's 1 down.
He had to talk to O a little bit with McCutcheon.
I'm sure it's also about changing sides. Runner at second base. This is the 9th plate appearance with runners in scoring position for the Pirates. Look at this. There he is. Eugene is out there to help translate. Had the chance to visit with Eugene, and he himself is an interesting story as well, as he was affiliated at the time with O's agent, and they brought him in for the press conference, and this has turned into a full-time job for him.
It's my understanding too that all teams have to have a Spanish interpreter with each club.
Now Andrew McCutchen, and a strike. McCutchen was hit on a 1-2 pitch back in the first. He's flied to center, also flied out to left. What'll be interesting in watching O is to see if he uses his split finger pitch a little bit more. He started to incorporate that more last year overseas. He's got the traditional curveball 12-6. Didn't throw it all that much in spring training. Really cuts the ball a lot. Nothing straight. That pitch taken low and outside. 2-1.
What if some of that strategy is to pitch around McCutchen? Double play situation if he did so, but it looks like Molina's really jumping outside.
Clearly they are pitching around McCutchen, it looks like here. Well, that's the one thing you could get with David Freese is the double play ball.
Right.
And we saw that a lot in St. Louis. He came through a lot, but hit into some double plays.
And control was something I don't think that we thought O would have a problem with.
3-2.
McCutchen maybe wanting to do something a little bit more of the plate they wanted, but really good pitcher's pitch there by O. Maybe McCutchen will get a little greedy and expand his zone.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. Pirates have received 5 walks today.
I think that was the unintentional, intentional pass. He definitely wanted to pitch around McCutchen, set up a double play ball off the bat of Freese.
Good debut for David Freese here with the Pirates. He's 2 for 3. Both have been singles. First pitch is a strike as it catches the corner. A single on a 3-2 pitch to center field in the first. He grounded out to third with 2 runners on in the second. And singled on a 1-2 pitch by Wainwright back in the 5th. Hanging breaking ball. Here's the 0-1. Now it's 0-2.
Going right after David Freese right here. Heading the count. Now he can really expand his zone.
The 0-2. Gotti tried to frame it, maybe pull it down just slightly.
We know Freese pretty good when he can go to the opposite field, so keep on pitching him away.
Yeah. 2-2. The Cardinals are playing him.
Yeah, playing
hit into right fairly deep.
We think we're looking for a double play ball, but maybe playing right into his hands of driving the ball to the outfield. But they're playing him that way to get the ball to right field.
Trying to go that way too. 2-2 the count.
Well, Dan, I mean, it's a situation where they haven't shown anything inside. And big gap out in left center, but shoot the ball out there. I'm thinking he's going to hit the ball in the air, not the ground ball double play.
Count runs full. 2 runners on at first and second. Good speed on the bases with McCutchen at first, Joyce at second. Do they start the runners? They're not running, and it's a called third strike as O gets his first strikeout in the major leagues.
David thought it was a ball, and it kind of appeared that it was a bit outside. It's a breaking ball, and gets his first major league strikeout. 2 outs in the inning. Bring up Marte.
I don't recall that O has thrown 1 pitch inside yet.
No. I mean, everything's been away, away, away.
Outside corner and a strike.
Marte didn't like that call.
It's not overpowering what he possesses. It's 92. Occasionally hits 94 on the gun, but a wide assortment of being able to move the ball in and out and cut it.
And you see a lot of ground balls coming.
There's a pitch in. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had 41 saves last year, 39 the year before. Twice was the MVP of the Korean series. He was the rookie of the year when he broke in pro ball in 2005.
International experience too, pitching in the World Baseball Classic.
Also pitched in the Olympics, World Baseball Classic 3 different times, 06, 09, and again in 13. The 2-1 pitch to Marte.
92 mile an hour, throws it by Marte.
Saw in spring training, not a lot of emotion, doesn't really smile. Had the chance to visit with him with Eugene, and if Eugene wasn't there, it would have been an odd conversation. The 2-2. And he just said, he told me he had accomplished everything he wanted in Korea and Japan. He was looking for a new challenge. Wanted to play in what he said is the greatest league in the world. See how he would fare.
Turned down a lot of money too. More money.
And O gets back-to-back strikeouts to end the 7th. The Pirates strand 2. It's 3-0. Back to our studios in St. Louis and a Bomberito Sports Update with Pat Paris. All right, Pat, thank you. Looking forward to the postgame show. Neftali Feliz in our Chevy call to the pen. He'll start the 8th inning. Third pitcher used by Clint Hurdle. And Holiday on the first pitch slices one out of play and foul as we start play here in the top of the 8th. Matt has walked. He is singled and was called out on a 3-2 pitch back in the first. It'll be Holiday, Grichuk, and Piscotty. There's a fly ball. Right field, Gregory Polanco. One away.
The Pirates this offseason spent some money to upgrade their bullpen. At 20% of their payroll in their bullpen is Jan Watson, Melanson, but then Feliz is really going to help out. Jared Hughes is on the disabled list. That would be an option for Hurdle. We're not accustomed to seeing Watson pitch in the 8th or the 7th inning.
There's Randall Grichuk. He has a base hit today. 3-0 Pirates. They picked up 2 in the second. 1 in the 6th. Out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Feliz was with Texas, broke in back in 2009, finished up last year with Detroit. Matter of fact, with Texas, he had 72 saves combined in his first 2 years of full duty in the big leagues. On the outside corner, and Grichuk is down on strikes. The Cardinals have struck out 13 times today.
We'll see if this one's a strike, as it's a breaking ball. Looks like it's high and away. It's the one thing that you were hoping the Cardinals would be able to cut down on the strikeouts.
We showed you that home run that David Freese hit postseason of 2011. Well, he hit that home run in extra innings, but to get there, he had the game-saving triple that he put off the wall in right, and that was off of this right-hander, Neftali Feliz. 1-0 pitch to Stephen Piscotty. 1 ball, 1 strike. Piscotty is 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts and a walk. Liriano went 6. Watson a scoreless 7th, and Feliz here in the 8th. Big gap in left center and a 1-1.
We talked about it in open, that Toyota keys of the game, that you got to really score early because they have such a good bullpen. And Feliz is really trying to resurrect himself. He had a bad part with Detroit last year. He ended up with Detroit where he had a 7.62 ERA. But a very capable closer in the past.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Hit down the right field line, slicing Polanco out of room.
Well, you have Sean Rodriguez, who's gone in to play first base, well off the first base line. And yet they play Piscotty to hit the ball to right in the outfield. Pull in the infield.
The 2-2. And sharply to third and backhanded by David Freese. broadcast is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Beautiful ballpark, PNC. It opened up in April of 2001. And our crowd today, a sellout, 39,500. 39500 as Seth Maness takes over for the Cardinals. The workhorse out of the pen.
And last year, Maness had a career high 76 games. That was 5th most in the National League.
Here's Francisco Cervelli. Maness was not happy for the better part of a couple of weeks of spring training with his sinker, and went on the backfields this past week and threw 3 innings against the minor leaguers just to get a feel for it. Felt much better, then came back, appeared in a major league game, and with that felt that the sinker was back. He could trust it, is what he said. And here's a 2-1 pitch. Time called and granted late.
Very late. But Seth did the right thing. Go ahead and throw the pitch. Don't try and stop at the last second and hurt yourself. Now you see all the appearances. I think he kind of wore out at the end of the year, but he tied for National League lead with 59 inherited runners, of course, since 2013.
There's a base hit out to left for Cervelli.
That's what happens when Maness doesn't get that sinker down. You know, it gets hit hard, but I was going to say that since 2013, 13 through 15, he's thrown 39 double play balls. That's most.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Hayes is with us. He'll take you inside the Cardinals clubhouse following our contest on the post-game show. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin with you. There's Gregory Polanco, who has walked. He has doubled as a run scored and also flied out to right. This will be an outstanding year once again for all of us associated with the broadcast on Fox. Nearly 150 games right here. Well, let's see if he can't get that double play.
Yeah, he's first in the major leagues with 39 double plays between 2013 and last year. Oh, spring training had trouble getting that sinker down, and they gave up a lot of line drives or home runs, but usually when he gets a man on base, we see his patented double play.
He has numbers that are normally reserved for what would be a lefty specialist coming out of the pen in terms of appearances, as you mentioned. 76 last year, 73 the year before. He had 70 in 2013. 4 of those were with Memphis, and then he was called up. 3-1 the count.
Since he's been in pro ball, all he's known is, you know, winning divisions and going into postseason. Every level he's played at.
One pitch hit out of play. Saw the major league debut today of Hazel Baker. He struck out. Also major league debut of Singwan Oh at his scoreless 7th inning. Walked 2, struck out 2. Now with 2 strikes, the shift is on Polanco. Runner goes, and it's lined into center field for a base hit. So the first 2 have reached against Seth Maness.
Let's see if this ball doesn't stay up. Left-handed hitter right there in his wheelhouse, and Polanco been on base 3 times. A double and scored, a walk, and now a base hit. Second hit of the day. Now we can get our triple play.
13th plate appearance with runners in scoring position today for Pittsburgh. Harrison hit into a double play back in the 6th. And runners at first and third. Drove in Cervelli, who tagged up. Polanco was the runner at first base. He tried to tag up, go to second, and the center fielder today, Randall Grichuk, threw him out. Here's the 0-1. Bunt is down. Only play is to go to first. Runners advance to second and third.
Got a 3-0 lead. Got a ground ball specialist on the mound. Button bolt into scoring position. Try and add to that lead. Just one out.
Infield again is drawn in. And a ball to Jordy Mercer. Michael Morris has moved to the on-deck circle. Melanson is throwing in the pen for Pittsburgh. Right-hander was throwing for St. Louis. Squeeze was on. They couldn't get the bunt down. And Molina flips to Carpenter, who tags out the runner. That's Cervelli. The Cardinals get a huge break.
I agree with you. If you don't get that, you got the suicide squeeze. Takes off, is coming home. If you don't bunt it, and that man's dead duck. Yanni may have gotten rid of the ball a little bit too soon, but Carpenter faked out the runner and got the tag out.
It's a big second out. Infield is back now with 2 down, and that pitch taken low and outside. Runner at third is Polanco. Outfield is shallow and shading towards right center. Evens it up at 2-2.
Good pitch there, in on the hands.
Hit to right, slicing foul and out of play.
Sometimes when you get that break on the base paths, as a pitcher is going to kind of find you or give you that way to escape the inning.
Fly ball, right center. Grichuk on the move. Can't get there. That ball is down. Mercer to second. Polanco scores, and it's 4-0 Pittsburgh. I mentioned he was playing shallow, and with that, Mercer, he needed every bit of Grichuk playing in, just out of his reach.
Expecting with Manus on the ground, you're going to get ground balls, but there he is, shading right field, but shallow, as you said, and he plugs the gap and beyond the reach. Still, it's just if Manus is throwing the ball the way we expected, we see the ball hit on the ground.
There's Michael Morse.
Part of the platoon at first base.
Rodriguez is at the on-deck circle. 1 ball and 1 strike. Really a lost season a year ago for Morse. He signed with his hometown team, the Miami Marlins. Got off to a terrible start. Grounded up the middle, Wong able to knock it down, stays with it, takes a hit and run away from Michael Morse. But the Pirates add to their lead. We head to the ninth. It's 4-0. Cardinals with just 3 hits today. Mark Melancon is into the ballgame. Power Stats brought to you by Kubota. As Yadier Molina will lead it off in this inning. Most opening day home runs, Pujols with 4, Molina 3, Stan the Man, the Hall of Famer, with 3, and all 3 there could be, or at least 2 more could be Hall of Famers on that list. And here's Mark Melancon in our Chevy called to the pen. Last year the Pirates had the best bullpen ERA in baseball of 2.64. It was the lowest by a Pirate bullpen since 1972, and a big reason why was Mark Melancon, who finished with 51 saves, a franchise record and the most in baseball. A 2-time All-Star.
Just a great season for him. He's the leader of the Shark Tank. So they call their bullpen. They actually have a shark.
And the first pitch is swung on and missed.
Out there in the bullpen, they do have a shark, not a live one, but in their bullpen. They used to have a couple live ones in their clubhouse.
Here's the 0-1. Molina looks at his strike.
That all started when, back in the offseason of 2011, Melancon went to New Zealand as part of his ambassador of baseball and spent a little time with some great whites, and one was tagged by a diver, and they named it Melancon.
It's been a trade that has worked out quite well for the Pittsburgh Pirates. At the time, the Boston Red Sox wanted to get Joel Hanrahan. This was in 2012 to close out games for them. He wound up developing shoulder issues. Melancon comes over and turns into an outstanding closer. Ray Sears really helped with that. There's a base hit into right field for Molina. Just the 4th hit today for St. Louis, and 2 of them off the bat of Yadier Molina.
Yeah, a walk and 2 hits for Molina. And how many times have we seen him take base hits to right field? Inside out stroke there, slices it into right. You never know. Go out there, you need base runners. I mentioned the Cardinals have had their opportunities. They stranded 8 through the first 5 innings.
Short lead at first for Yadier Molina. Here's Colton Wong, and he is hit by the pitch. And the first 2 have reached for St. Louis. Now that 2-out RBI double for Mercer looms large instead of bringing the tying run to the plate.
Just comes in on him. And breaking ball gets him on the front shoulder. Need more base runners.
Here's Jed Jerko, 0 for 2 with a walk today. Runners at first and second.
Seen a lot of games in spring training where the Cardinals scored late, but most of the time that was with their minor leaguers. They're going to have to do it right now with their starters. Think about Brandon Moss on the bench. Moss has got some home run pot. So does Jerko.
Moss has moved to the on-deck circle. 4-0 Pirates. Hit to the right side. A race to the bag. Melancon is there. Runners advance to second and third. We turn with 1 out here in the top of the 9th to David Freese. He is our Budweiser player of the game, 2 for 4, a couple of singles, but that doesn't tell the story. He's made a couple of really nice plays defensively.
Really has, including that last one with a couple men on base. David is going to make a lot of fans in his new city right here, just with the plane that he's displayed today.
Moss is a former Pirate among many other teams. wore their uniform a few years ago. Strike one. Sold out crowd here at PNC Park, 39,500 for opening day on a cold afternoon here in the Steel City. Pirates using the shift here. Second baseman Harrison on the outfield grass. Mercer near the bag at second, the shortstop. 0-1 pitch to Moss. Clean outing is considered no runs allowed by a reliever, even keeping inherited runners from scoring. The Pirates had 2 of the top 4 in that category. Melanson and Watson both had 63 last year.
That's what I would say. If they could reduce it down to a 7-inning game.
The 2-1. Moss breaks his bat. Brandon got off to a very good start in spring training. Struggled a little bit towards the tail end. Adams then really picked it up. But we know he's got home run power and that threat coming off the bench for St. Louis.
Cardinals very excited about Moss. Another year removed from that hip surgery he had. He'll get back to generating 20+ home runs a year.
Runners at second and third. Cervelli a glance down at third. Moss the strikeout. Cardinals down to their final out. Melanson is tough enough. Then you mix in the shadows here at the ballpark too. As the light standards, a shadow is now between the pitcher's mound and the batter's box, and they're on their feet. Carpenter is 0 for 3 today with a walk.
14 strikeouts for the Cardinals today.
That's number 14. Two outs, 2 on. Carpenter trying to bunt his way on. Best opportunity the Cardinals had was in the third, trailing 2-0. They had runners at first and third, only 1 out. And on a 3-1 pitch, Carpenter grounded into a double play that ended the inning and the threat.
Cardinals trailing by 4, trying to get on and load the bases. Bring up Adams to tie the game.
Broken bat and a foul ball.
That's really getting in on these left-handers. It's the second left-hander to break a bat. Never hit wrong.
Talked to many of the Pirates about that great cutter that Melanson has.
Mentioned a 2-time All-Star. I remember they saw him with Houston. He was closing out with Houston before he went to Boston. And they still felt like even when things were not going well in Boston, he still was pitching well. So they wanted to make that trade, brought him over as a setup man for Grilly, and Grilly got hurt, and they took over, and he's been lights out.
Oh, 0-2 pitch.
See Carpenter drive in 2 with a double, and then Adams come up, tie the ball game. They'll be down their 2 best relievers.
The 1-2. Good cut by Carpenter.
Longer this at bat, the more Carpenter's doing confident.
Two balls, two strikes. (83-1) a year ago when leading after the 8th. Trying to pick up the first victory here in 2016.
9-1 after 7, 83-1 after 8.
2-2. We'll do it again.
Mike Matheny's trying to get to his closer, and Clint Hurdle's trying to see his closer finish this one off. And Carpenter's going to get him.
Two pitch. Crowd runs full.
You see how he's just looked at a couple breaking balls. That one inside. Just Carpenter's kind of zoned in right now. Got a good look at what he's going to do. Hope he'll get a mistake pitch and he can handle it.
Will this be the final pitch of the afternoon? 3-2 is a base hit into right field. One run is in. As Carpenter gets his first hit of the season, extends the ball game to Matt Adams as he represents the tying run.
Just felt the way he was taking pitches, was getting a good look at it, and Carpenter's going to come through. It's a BB. Harrison almost spears it. He got the ball out over the plate, breaking ball, and it stayed up. Hit it hard. Now Adams has a shot.
Adams has faced Melanson 5 times, 0 for 5.
He's due.
He represents the tying run. Strike one. It's now a 4-1 ball game. The Cardinals pick up their 5th hit of the afternoon. And it was Carpenter to extend this game. Oh, 1 pitch. Now 0-2, a foul ball that catches Adams. This spot in the lineup, already saw Tommy Pham get hurt earlier today. And again, the Cardinals down to their final strike.
Carpenter was running on that pitch. Fielder's indifference, but with a foul ball, he has to go back first.
Fielder's indifference as Carpenter takes the bag at second.
Get Holiday up.
Here's a 1-2 to Adams. Check swing kept in front by Cervelli. Taken for a ball, and it's 2-2.
A year ago, the way his swing mechanics were, he probably couldn't stop his swing and would have been struck out on that pitch. But not shifting as much. Hands are staying back, got more balanced. He's still up there alive.
The 2-2.
Making it interesting.
Trying to extend this game to Holiday. A 3-2 pitch to Adams. Broken bat, little flare into shallow center. McCutchen is there. And the Pirates win the first game of 2016.
Now the Cardinals struck out 14 times. You just got to cut that in half, and you got to get more hits. They did get a runner on the board, and better luck on Tuesday night.
Cardinals brought the tying run to the plate. Melanson able to finish it off. It's off to the post-game show. All the highlights, scores, previews coming up. Pirates defeat the Cardinals 4-1 on opening day.